Can you tell me how long ago you started eCom Capital?
eCom Capital, I've been with you since last June, and so we're coming up to March now. So I am nearly up to my 12-month renewal, and I'll definitely be renewing.
Oh, can't get rid of you now. Yeah. And what would you say is like the 3 biggest key takeaways from joining eCom Capital?
I don't think I realised, the knowledge gap that I had. Originally, before starting eCom Capital, I always sort of assumed that if you were to become really successful, that a lot of it was based on luck or it was by chance, where I think now with all the tools that I've learnt and all the support from the team, I've actually realised that it's a very structured process and there's a lot of work involved. But if you do follow it and you're really consistent, that is how you do become successful.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your brand? How far has your brand come? Where did you start with us and where are you now?
I've got 2 businesses. So one I had prior to eCom Capital, and I was running that, and I've had that for nearly 6 years now in this industry. And then I've also got another brand which I'm a part owner of in the golf industry, and that is one that I did start with eCom Capital and the one that we are focusing on scaling at the moment.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your revenue figures? So you started from pretty much zero then, and how's that growth been?
We started from zero and we are now doing 6-figure months, which is fantastic. And our plan is for 2025 to do our first 8-figure year. So I think the great thing is with eCom Capital, in particular the Mastermind Program, it is sort of how I said before, it is having that structure, that training, and also the support to be able to get from one point to another point. So for us, an 8-figure year is a huge goal of ours. We haven't done it before, so I think it's really fantastic to have the team at eCom Capital show us the way to get there, support us, and teach us the tools to be able to do that.
Do you think it's quite different from that versus handing over the reins of your business to, say, an agency or somewhere? Like, how has that experience, hands-on learning, been for you at eCom Capital?
Honestly, if I had sort of one piece of advice for anyone, it would be invest in your own education and your understanding of not only your business but also the eCom space, because I think, down the track when you do start to grow, you can definitely, if you choose to outsource things, you definitely can. But I think it is really important, and something that I've learned from eCom Capital, it's really important to know exactly the process around things yourself and to be on top of it and to understand how it works, so that then you can, if you do want to delegate it to someone else, you can do that. You can provide training and guidance and that kind of thing. And too that it is getting done to, the standard that we've been trained in at eCom Capital.
And what's one thing you'd say to someone who is thinking about getting into eCom?
eCom is something, personally, I feel should be learnt in schools. I really do think the foundations and what you can do and the money that you can make, I think it's life-changing. And so I think definitely it's something where I would say that if you have been thinking about it or you do have an idea and the only thing that's sort of, holding you back is, either the fear of failure or, you're worried you don't have the time or that kind of thing, I think you definitely have to just bite the bullet and do it, because it's one of those things that, particularly this program, is honestly hands down the best investment I've ever made in myself, my education, my family, my business. It's unmatched. So I do think that it's something that if you do feel that you are prepared to do the work, put the work in, and that you do have the drive to get there, I think it's definitely something you should consider.
If you could handpick 3 skills that you've really taken so far in your journey at eCom Capital, what would that be?
There's so many, but in particular working with you and Steve, and I've probably said this a few times, is something I wasn't aware of was the knowledge gap. So I didn't really understand the processes around providing a certain service or product for your customer pain point, how to create content around that, how to then execute the ads effectively. And then once you do have the data with ads and it's working well, how to actually scale that. I'd never seen the full process. So being able to see that too, it really does, it makes things a lot less scary. It makes them a lot more possible. And you're like, I've been able to do this with and I think too, having the support of a team and a team who are extremely skilled at what they do. Again, in my opinion, I think this program is unmatched. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been a part of anything that has come sort of close to the service and the support that you do get. I do think definitely having a team like eCom Capital support you throughout the whole process and be able to guide you to be able to get to where you want to be, I think it's really important. I definitely have noticed over the last, 9 to 10 months, I've definitely noticed a huge change in my mindset, my outlook. I look back at, the person that I was last year, and I found that I was very reactive. So if something didn't work, I would, go into that cycle of blame or self-doubt, or this isn't going to work. And I think honestly, a lot of us, it stems from embarrassment, because you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. What have I done? People are going to judge me. But now I've really shifted that mindset to a business, you are going to have highs and you're going to have lows. And I think the most important thing that you can have, the most important skill set is problem solving, essentially. And I guess also having a supportive team around you that you can bounce off with, that is really important. But knowing that if something does go wrong, you're making quick changes and effective changes to steer back into the right direction. And I think that's just sort of how it is. It's up and down. And I think once you can master that, you can then just continue to grow.
Do you think having, obviously, group coaching is great, having the one-on-one weekly calls is good, but the Slack access, having someone quick respond every day, getting back to you?
100%. And I think that's where, for me, the Mastermind program is something that I think, again, is just, I've never seen a program similar out there, because a lot of, you do have a lot of group programs, and although they are effective and they're really great for skill building, I think if you do want to get to those 7-figure, 8-figure years, you need a team around you who, can make quick decisions, who have the experience and the expertise to guide you. Because at the end of the day, especially when it comes to paid media, you're spending a lot of money and you've got a lot of things to think about with cash flow and that kind of thing. So I think it's a lot of those factors do come into play with that. So I think if you are really serious about e-commerce and you're really dedicated to growing your brand, going straight into the Mastermind program, it's a no-brainer. You need to do it, because that's what is going to propel your success forward. eCom Capital.